In Dark Souls, you will face off against ever-increasingly difficult enemies and bosses, and in order to not feel like you're attacking them with a wet noodle, you will need to upgrade your weapons to unleash their true potential. Spread across the lands of Lordran are 10 embers, and these will need to be obtained and given to specific blacksmiths in order to upgrade your weapon's damage output, and to apply a variety of elemental damages that certain foes will be weaker to. In this video, I will cover where to obtain each ember, what upgrades it can be used for, and which blacksmith you will need to give it to. So let's dive straight into it. The large ember can be found in the depths, located in a chest behind the table with raw meat on it, and is guarded by the first butcher as well as an attack dog. Once you have obtained the large ember, you will need to return to the undead parish and give it to the blacksmith located there, Andre of Astora. After you have given Andre the large ember, you will then be able to ascend a +5 standard weapon into a +6 standard weapon. This then allows for further reinforcement up to +10. In addition to increasing the maximum level for your standard weapons to +10, the large ember can also be used to ascend a +5 standard weapon into a raw weapon. This increases the base damage of the weapon, but does reduce its scaling stat in strength and dexterity, making this a great way in the early game to achieve a higher damage output. The very large ember can be obtained in the New Londo ruins, after you have first opened the gates and lowered the water level. There are two ways to get to the very large ember. The first route requires you to take the first elevator shortcut, the one nearest the ruins entrance. Once you have gone down the elevator, head out the archway and turn left. Then, on the left-hand wall, you will find a similar archway leading to a narrow staircase, which you will need to head up. Once at the top, head forwards and take the first right turning. Then, follow the wall all the way around and you will reach a second staircase. Once at the top of the stairs, turn left and you will find the chest containing the very large ember. An alternative and potentially quicker way to obtain the very large ember is to head to the spot in the ruins where you first encountered the screaming female ghost. If you then drop down from this ledge, you will land on the floor with the staircase that then leads up to the chest containing the very large ember. While this route is quicker than the first, it can be tricky making the landing, as if done wrong, you will end up on the bottom floor surrounded by dark wraiths. Once you have obtained the very large ember, you will again need to return it to Andre of Astora in the undead parish. Once you have done this, you will then be able to ascend a standard weapon from +10 to +11. This then allows you to reinforce your standard weapon up to the maximum of +15. The Divine Ember is located in the Darkroot Gardens. Once you have defeated the Moonlight Butterfly boss, continue across the bridge and head up the stairs in the tower. At the very top, you will find a petrified blacksmith's body holding the Divine Ember. Once obtained, you can take the Divine Ember to Andre of Astora in the Undead Parish, and this will allow you to ascend a +5 standard weapon into a Divine weapon, which can be further reinforced to +5. Taking a weapon down the Divine path adds scaling with faith, and adds magic damage to your weapon, but it will reduce dexterity and strength scaling, and therefore physical damage. One key bonus of ascending your standard weapon to a Divine weapon is the Divine Auxiliary buff that it receives. This effect enables your weapon to permanently kill any skeletons found in the Catacombs or Tomb of the Giants, without needing to kill their Necromancer master first. As the Divine Ember is most likely the first ember you will find during your playthrough, it will make tackling the Catacombs a much easier feat during the early stages of the game. The large Divine Ember is located in the Tomb of the Giants, and is possibly the most perilous ember to obtain in the game. Unfortunately for us, the ember is located at the end of a dark pit containing several giant skeletons who will ambush you within seconds. First, to get to the ember, from the first bonfire near Patches, climb up the ladder and go right. Then, follow the narrow path until you reach the tomb and descend down the ladder. From here, there are 4 main strats to tackle this gauntlet of giant skeletons. Firstly, the simplest solution is to just make a run for it, and hope you reach the ember before you get killed. The second strat is to jump across the gap where the ladder is located. This then allows you to circle the top of the pit. Once you're above the ember, simply drop down and collect it. Whether you then choose to try to escape the pit or take the death is up to you. The third and safest, but the longest strat, is to use either pyromancy spells or firebombs to pick off the skeletons from above. If you use the previous method and jump across the gap by the ladder, you can aggro multiple skeletons from a safe distance, and then herd them to where you want and kill them with the pyro or bomb splash damage. Just be careful not to fall off while throwing those bombs. Finally, the fourth main strat is to try and lure each giant skeleton one by one and defeat them individually. The best way to do this is to equip the Ring of Fog and the Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring if you have them. Then descend the ladder and use either arrows or proximity to lure each skeleton. Once the area is clear, head to the Petrified Blacksmith and collect the large Divine Ember. After you have acquired the Ember, head back to the Undead Parish and give the large Divine Ember to Andre of Astora, and this will then allow you to ascend a +5 Divine weapon to +6, and then further reinforce them to their maximum level of +10. The Dark Ember can be found in the painted world of Ariamis. In order to obtain it though, you will first need to obtain the Annex Key, which you can get by heading down the well in the courtyard. Once at the bottom of the well, take the first left. Follow the path and take the next left. Immediately turn right and go through the illusory wall. Follow the path to the end and turn left. The Annex Key will be on the floor behind the bone wheel skeleton. Now that you have the Annex Key, head through the Annex door and up the staircase. Go through the door at the end of the room and follow the path straight in front of you all the way to the end. Then turn left and head down the staircase. In this rune building, you will find a petrified blacksmith holding the Dark Ember, guarded by 2 engorged red hollows. Once you have obtained the Dark Ember, return to the Undead Parish and give it to Andre Vastora. This will allow you to ascend a +5 divine weapon to an occult weapon, and then also the ability to reinforce your occult weapon up to its maximum of +5. Taking a weapon down the occult path will increase its scaling with faith. However, it does decrease the magical base damage, resulting in less overall magic damage output. However, in addition to this, it will increase the physical damage output without affecting strength or dexterity scaling. The Occult Auxiliary effect enables your weapon to deal extra damage to certain gods or lord enemies, such as the Black Knight, Silver Knight, and bosses such as Dragonslayer Ornstein, Darksun Gwendolyn, and Gwynlord of Cinder. The large magic ember can be found in the Duke's archives. After defeating Seath the Scaleless, head back to the first room where you encountered him, and you will find the large magic ember in a chest in the centre of the room. Once you have the large magic ember, you will need to take it to Rickert of Vinheim, the blacksmith located on the edge of the cliff at the start of the New Londo ruins, just below Firelink Shrine. Once you have given Rickert the Ember, you will be able to ascend a +5 magic weapon to +6, and then reinforce them to their maximum upgrade of +10. Taking a weapon down the magic path, which is immediately available by default with Rickert of Vinheim, increases magic scaling through the intelligence stat. However, you will lose physical damage through strength and dexterity scaling. The Enchanted Ember is located in the second area of the Darkroot Gardens, just past Alvina in a small pool guarded by large mushroom parents, contained inside of a chest. Once you have acquired the Enchanted Ember, you will need to take it to Rickert of Vinheim in New Londo Ruins, where he can use it to ascend a +5 magic weapon into an enchanted weapon, and further reinforce it to its highest level of +5. As with the magic upgrade path, the enchanted upgrade path increases your weapon's scaling with the intelligence stat, and grants magic damage to your weapon, but it further reduces your physical damage output through a lower strength and dexterity scaling. The Crystal Ember is located in the Duke's archives, in a small library just prior to the entrance to the Crystal Caves. The Crystal Ember is inside a chest behind the bookcases in a small alcove on the right hand side of the room from the entrance. Once you have obtained the Crystal Ember, you will need to give it to the giant blacksmith in Anor Londo. He will then be able to ascend standard +10 weapons into crystal weapons, and also reinforcing them to their maximum level of +5. Taking a weapon down the crystal upgrade path increases its scaling with strength and dexterity, making them deal far more physical damage than their standard weapon counterparts. However, with great damage comes great weaknesses, and in the case of crystal weapons, this comes in the form of a much lower durability, 10% of the original durability to be precise. And added onto this is the inability to repair your crystal weapons, makes this a daring upgrade path to go down. The large flame ember can be found in the Demon Ruins. To obtain it, from the second bonfire in Demon Ruins, head towards the main staircase leading to the Demon Fire Sage boss fight. When you reach the bottom of the staircase, turn left and follow the path along the cliff edge. Be careful as you will be attacked by several Taurus demons en route. When you reach the end of the path, past the Taurus demons, turn left and follow the path to the very end. In this corridor, you will encounter several burrowing rock worms that plunge down from the ceiling, so be careful to avoid these. At the end of the corridor, you will find a chest containing the large flame ember. It is recommended that you take a homeward bone unless you fancy fighting your way back through the gauntlet of enemies blocking your path. Once you have the large flame ember, you will need to give it to Vamos the blacksmith, who is located at the bottom of the catacombs and can only be initially accessed by dropping down from the spiral staircase and landing on several ledges that soften your fall. Once accessed for the first time, Vamos will break a hole in the wall, allowing you access from that area at the bottom of the catacombs with all the Bonewall skeletons. There is also a Warpable bonfire next to Vamos in the remastered version of Dark Souls to make this easier. Giving Vamos the large flame ember will allow him to further ascend any fire weapon you have already made with him from +5 to +6, and then further enabling him to reinforce your fire weapons to its maximum level of +10. The fire upgrade path adds fire damage to your weapon, but it will then remove all stat scaling bonuses. This is a great option for lower level players, especially as fire works wonders against a lot of the early game enemies and bosses. However, for higher level players, it won't be as useful. The Chaos Flame Ember is also located in the Demon Ruins. Once you have defeated Ceaseless Discharge and the lava lake has drained and hardened, you will be able to follow the ramp down into the area. Here you will encounter several Taurus demons around a small lava pool, and in the middle of the lava pool is the Chaos Flame Ember. As you will need to walk through the lava to obtain this item, it is recommended that you use the Flame Stoveplate Ring and the Flash Sweat spell to reduce the damage you will take. You can also utilise the Gold Hemmed Robe armor set that you obtain next to the Ceaseless Discharge fight, which will help to mitigate some more of this damage. However, I personally recommend waiting until after you have fought the Centipede Demon, as once you have, you will be rewarded with the Orange Charred Ring, which greatly reduces lava damage and will make obtaining the Chaos Flame Ember a walk in the park. Once you have obtained the Chaos Flame Ember, take it to Vamos the Blacksmith at the bottom of the catacombs. This will then enable him to ascend a +5 fire weapon into a Chaos weapon, and then further reinforce it to its maximum level of +5. Just like the fire upgrade path, the Chaos path adds fire damage to your weapon, and has the negative effect of removing all stat scaling. What makes the Chaos upgrade path different is that it scales with humanity, up to a maximum of 10 humanity. So, if you have 10 humanity active, Chaos weapons are far superior to fire weapons, and most other weapon paths that are upgraded to the same level when comparing raw damage, making the Chaos Flame path a fan favourite. And for now, that's it. I really hope you have found this guide helpful. Let me know in the comment section below which Ember or upgrade path is your absolute go-to, and which one you just couldn't really care less about. As always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Dark Souls content.